Okay, so it is still Thursday, July 28th, 2022. It's about 5 o'clock here in Budapest. That would be nearly 11 o'clock back at home. We are on the Buda side of Budapest. You can see Pest across the Danube over there. And we've just spent the last few hours seeing the highlights of Buda and gonna head back and have dinner and get ready to fly out tomorrow. But here are some of those major sites on the Buda side.
First stop on the Buda side was the Liberty statue. It was originally built in honor of the Soviet liberation of Hungary, but after the fall of communism, it was changed. It was altered to honor just the Hungarians who sacrificed their lives for a free Hungary. Next, we stumbled upon this building with the faces of World War I leaders plastered all over it. Of course, it was Tsar Nicholas II that originally caught my eye, but then I was like, hey, there's Franz Joseph and Woodrow Wilson and Kaiser Wilhelm II and George V. And that's when I realized it was a museum dedicated to World War I. Tearing myself away from that, we headed over to the funicular. For a small fee, the funicular will take you up and down Castle Hill. The funicular was originally opened in 1870. However, it was destroyed during World War II, and it was slow to reopen, only reopening once again in 1986. After a quick ride on the funicular up the hill, we walked the Buda Castle grounds. Buda Castle is located on the southern end of Buda Hill. The original was constructed in the 13th century. Most of the buildings in the current castle complex were constructed in the 18th century in the Baroque style. Today, the castle is home to the Budapest History Museum and the Hungarian National Gallery. It is quite evident as you look around the castle grounds, though, that the castle is in a great state of disrepair. This structure here seems to be the castle's associated church, and the castle grounds do have great views of the Pest side of the city. Next, we headed over to where the offices of the President and Prime Minister of Hungary are, where we watched this changing of the guard. Next, we headed over to Matthias Church, which on this trip to Budapest, we only viewed the exterior. There is a fee to enter the church, and since we have already seen the inside, we opted to just view the outside. Matthias Church was originally constructed in the Romanesque style in 1015. The modern building was constructed in the late Gothic style in the 14th century, but has been renovated and restored during the 19th century. At one point, the church was used as a mosque when the Ottomans occupied Buda. The church is located on Buda Hill right next to Fisherman's Bastion, as well as this statue of Hungary's first king, King Stephen. And finally, here's a look at Fisherman's Bastion. It was constructed between 1895 and 1902. However, it never served as a fortification. It was constructed to be a lookout spot. The 7 turrets represent the 7 Hungarian tribes who founded the country in 895. It also has these spectacular views of the Parliament building. And now it's time to say goodbye to Budapest.